I'm Alexandra.
And I'm Sarah, and you're listening to One Step Ahead,
a podcast where we pretend to be your wise big sisters as we share insights about growing up, finding yourself, and designing a career path you'll love to follow.
On this week's episode, we will introduce ourselves, share what our podcast is about, and why you should follow along with us to stay one step ahead. Hello!
Hey, Sarah!
How are you?
I'm good. I'm honestly so excited. I feel like the conversation is going to be good, for sure.
Yeah, I'm so excited. All right. Welcome to our podcast. It's called One Step Ahead, and we're so glad you decided to listen to it. We decided that this first episode is just probably best to make it a little bit more formal and kind of just go over what the podcast is, who we are, and basically how we ended up here.
Yeah, honestly, the story of how we ended up here is slightly interesting. So Sarah and I were both seniors at Belmont University, and we're both in our honors program at our school, but specifically we're on a track called LEAD, and it's all about leadership development. So we met our freshman year, but we really became like better friends our sophomore year once we were in this program together. So we've always known that there was going to be a senior like thesis or final project that was part of the program. And we always knew we wanted to do something together, but our majors are very different, but we just have great conversations all the time. We really relate to each other like outside of the classroom as well as like participating well together inside. So we have conversations all the time as friends that really like help us step back from situations and evaluate like where we've made smart decisions and where we haven't. And we feel like we've gained like a lot of advice, not advice. We've gained a lot of experience during our time in college. And we really felt like if we would have known what we know now, like our freshman year or before we came into college, our college experience could have been so much more fulfilling. And because of this, we really want to pass on like this information. And we kind of want to do it in the sense of like a big sister. We want it to be really casual, and we want it to come from a place of like very recent experience, not antiquated advice or advice that's coming from someone, who went to college years ago. So we're excited. We're excited. Yeah, we're excited to share. We've got a lot to we've got a lot of advice to, I think
we've got a lot to say.
We got a lot to say. It might be a little chaotic and it might be a little all over the place when we're first starting, but we're excited and yeah, we think we can really help.
Yeah, I think it kind of came from like, not necessarily like a joke, but almost we were like, like we should share these conversations. And then we were like, okay, but like, what if?
Yeah, but actually.
What if we actually turned it into something? So I'm excited to see where this goes and all the things that we're able to talk about and hopefully share some insight on.
Yeah, honestly, the whole process of creating this is very interesting. Sarah, you want to take it away with how we're making this happen right now?
Well, I'm currently laying on the floor of my closet and I'm in Nashville, but Alexandra and I are like 500 miles away from each other.
Probably. I'm in Indiana laying on my closet floor.
And we're just recording this remotely while also being on Zoom, which seems to be used a little bit too much for my liking these days, but that's okay.
Yeah, I would second that. How we're like recording this, we don't have a mic yet. We don't have mics. We're not that fancy. We're just using our phones and we're basically calling each other and recording that call.
Yep, which is basically if you sat in on a phone call or a FaceTime with us, this is what you would hear. So
yes,
take that with what you will.
Except y'all are lucky. You're getting the condensed version.
I feel like before we kind of get too far into this, we should do a little bit of a disclaimer. As much as like we do want to give advice and share our experiences that hopefully help you along your journey, kind of growing up and figuring things out, we also don't have all the answers, and what we share is just our opinion. We're just your older sisters sharing some advice. What we say isn't the end all be all and the only way to do any of the things that we talk about.
Yeah, we're definitely still on our own journeys, clearly. But part of our podcast title is One Step Ahead. And part of the reason why we decided to title it that was because we were hoping to like share our wisdom, LOL, like I'm a 80-year-old man. We were hoping to share some of our experiences with people who are just like a little earlier on in their journey than we are. But also we wanted to talk about like how when you're prepared and you're constantly evaluating your situations and making sure you're like performing to the best of your abilities at that point in time, you're always going to be like one step ahead of the curve. So that's kind of like how we came up with the title.
Yeah, I think we're just like, we see ourselves as being only also just one step ahead of kind of, we hope, who is listening and tuning in to kind of hear our thoughts on things.
Oh yeah, thanks for tying it in. When I started that, that's where I was trying to go, and then I didn't go there, and then you came in and you
That's
saved
okay.
me. Thanks, Sarah. I definitely think we should probably formally introduce ourselves. So, Sarah, you want to go with that?
Sure. Hi, I'm Sarah. I am from the Cleveland, Ohio area, a little small town outside of Cleveland. And I am one of 4 kids, and we all went to school there, preschool through 12th grade. So I am born and raised Cleveland. But then I moved down to Nashville for school because I'm a nursing major, and Belmont has a really good nursing program. And they also have a direct admittance into the program where you apply to the university and you also apply to the program directly. So you don't have to do classes your freshman year without knowing that you're actually in the program, which is definitely a huge benefit and has really streamlined the whole process of doing nursing school. And then outside of my major, I am on Student Nurse Association, the board for that program.
Yeah, Honor Student Council was a great way for Sarah and I to stay involved with the honors program. So, formally, hey guys, I'm Alexandra. I'm from a small town a little south of Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm a double degree in motion pictures and entrepreneurship. My journey to Belmont is a little bit different than Sarah's. Briefly, my freshman year of high school was more traditional, but towards the end of it, out of the blue, I got sick. So my last 3 years of high school were online, and that definitely factored into how I looked for schools. But because I'm a double degree, Belmont was one of the universities where I would be able to graduate with those 2 degrees in relatively close to 4 years. And plus, I love Nashville. It's a beautiful city, and the weather is a little bit better than Indiana for sure. In terms of what I'm involved with in college, I've been on tons of student film sets. I'm the president of Sigma Nu Tau, which is the Entrepreneurship Honor Society. I was in a program called Writers Room. It was a student-led sitcom. Writers Room was very, very fun. I'm part of Enactus, which is Belmont's social entrepreneurship program. As Sarah mentioned, we're in Honor Student Council together. I'm in a sorority. I'm on the Business Student Advisory Board. I'm in a few honor society. I'm in. I'm in a little bit. I'm in a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit of everything. You're not busy at all.
No, I'm not busy at all. I really like to keep my calendar very, very open.
So we're both involved in a lot now, and we were involved in a lot in high school as well. And there are a lot of different things that we wanted to talk about. So when organizing this podcast, we decided that we would go chronologically and start with our high school experiences and just how we set ourselves up to be successful in college and doing college applications and looking at universities and the whole process that you go through your junior and senior year. And so that's where we wanted to start. And then we were going to go on through our college years and what we've done and what we've been involved in and things that we've learned along the way. And then we want to look forward into the future because we're both seniors and we're getting ready to graduate and start jobs, and just kind of how we're preparing to go through that.
Specifically, we want to look at how you define and develop your personal values. We want to talk about how we've set systems in place to reach our goals. We want to talk about how like speed bumps help you become the ideal version of yourself.
Yeah, and I think that personally, I spent a lot of my freshman year kind of figuring out who I am and who I want to be, my own personal morals and values, and as well as getting people around me that would help me get to those places. And there were so many things that I wish somebody had told me before starting college or even as I was starting college. So that's part of the reason that we wanted to make this. And hopefully, if you're listening, this will kind of put some ideas in your head and you can start thinking about your own personal like definitions of yourself and where you want to be. And that'll help make your college journey a little bit smoother.
We want this to be super interactive. So if you have any questions or particular topics you'd like us to cover, you can DM us or leave a comment on one of our posts on Instagram. Our Instagram is the One Step Ahead Podcast, or you can email us at the One Step Ahead Podcast at gmail.com. Also, please feel free to leave us a review on your favorite podcasting platform. It super helps us get our message out there, and it also is another way for you to give us feedback so we can implement that.
All right. So as we end our podcast, I'm sure someone in the past has asked for your highs and lows of a week, but we wanted to do our own little spin on it and try and use this to keep ourselves accountable as we work towards goals. So what is something that you're working towards this week and is at the top of your stairs? And what is one step that you've taken today towards that goal, Alexandra?
Okay, so something that is definitely at the top of my stairs this week is posting this podcast. We've been talking about it for so long, like just the idea of actually getting together and recording and then like editing. I'm just so excited. And definitely like one step we've taken towards the goal today is actually filming it, and I'll be editing a lot of this later, and we've kind of been editing as we're going. So just moving through the motions of accomplishing something that we've talked about for so long. So it's been great and so fun. Sarah, what's at the top of your stairs for this week?
We're going into Thanksgiving. So for me, I definitely have focused on school so much this semester that I haven't spent quite as much time with my family and just like mindfully spending time with my family. And just being there for them and also just catching up on everybody and all my siblings and what they've been up to, as well as like taking time for myself. I think we get so busy and so wrapped up in everything that we're doing during the school year. It's something that we sometimes neglect to take care of ourselves. So I want to like mindfully spend some time with my family, like quality time with my family, and reconnect with everybody, as well as taking time for myself to take a break, since I feel like I've worked really hard this semester. And the step that I'm taking towards that is my to-do list has no more to-dos on it as of this week. So I've turned everything in for the semester and kind of finished everything off. So I'm packing up, ready to go home. I've done all of my things to kind of get ready for that, and being able to take a step back from work and homework and school and life and everything and spend some time with my family. And I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Not having anything on your to-do list. Wow.
Well,
It's
other than
amazing.
this, but this is an enjoyable
No,
thing.
no,
It's
no.
not work.
No, I know. Mindfully spending some time is something I need to add to my to-do list.
Yeah, you should add it to your to-do list. We are so glad you listened to our first podcast episode, and we hope you will continue listening to future episodes. Next week, we will be talking about our high school experiences more in depth and how to set yourself up for college, as well as how to make your college application stand out and how to make the most of your college visits. I hope that this first episode gave you a good idea of the future, and thanks for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Bye.